For lesson 9, we're going to use place value understanding to round multi-digit numbers to any place value. So we're going to start off with number 1, where we're going to be rounding to the nearest thousand. Okay, so our first one here, we have 5 thousands, okay, and the 3 in the hundreds place tells us to round down to 5,000. Okay, letter B, we have 4 thousands, okay, and the 5 in the hundreds place tells us that we need to round up to 5,000. Okay, next one, we have 42,000, so 0 tells us to go down to 42 thousands. Okay. Next one, we have 801 thousands, and the 5 in the hundreds place tells us to round it up to 802,000. Okay. So for letter E, we're going to explain how we did that. So for letter D, okay, there is a 5 in the hundreds place, so I rounded up to 802,000. Okay, remember the whole 5 or more raise the score, 4 or less let it rest. Okay, number 2, we're moving on to the 10,000s place. So we're starting off with 2 10,000s. Okay, we have 6 in the thousands place, so that means we need to round up to 3 10,000s. Okay, letter B, we have 3 10,000s, but we only have 4 in the thousands place, so that means we need to go down to 30,000. Okay, C and D, we have larger numbers, okay, but we have 78 10,000s. The 9 in the thousands place tells us that we need to go up to 79 10,000s. Okay. Next one here, we have 70 10,000s, but the 6 in the thousands place tells us to go up to 71 10,000s. Okay, now for letter E, we have to explain why 2 problems have the same answer. Write another number that has the same answer when rounded to the nearest 10,000. So 26,000 and 34,920 both round to 30,000. Okay. 26,000 rounds up, and 34,920 rounds down. Okay. Now we need another number that would round to 30,000. There's really a bunch that we could use. Okay, we can go below 30,000 or above 30,000. So we could do 31,456. Okay, because of the 1 in the thousands place, we go down to 30,000. So 31,456 also rounds to 30,000. Okay. All right, moving on to number 3, we move over to the 100,000s place. Okay, so letter A is 800,000s. Okay. 4 in the 10,000s place tells us to go down to 800,000. Okay. Letter B, we also have 800,000s, but there's 5 10,000s, so we got to go up to 900,000s. Okay. Letter C, we have 700,000s, but the 6 tells us to go up to 800,000. And then finally, letter D, we have 900,000s, but the 9 in the 10,000s place tells us we need to go up to 10,000,000s. And 10,000,000s is also 1 million. So same thing with letter E, we need to explain why we have 2 problems that have the same answer, and we're going to write another number that could also round to the nearest 100,000. So 840,000. Okay, rounds up, or not up, actually rounds down to 800,000, and 761,004 rounds down Oh, I'm getting these reversed. Sorry about that. Rounds up to 800,000. Okay, so the 6 tells the 7 to go up, 4 tells the 8 to go down. Okay, so now another number that would also round to 800,000. Okay, so for number 2 we went above, so this one will go below. So we'll keep our 700,000s. We'll make a 9 in the 10,000s place, and then we can just fill in the rest with other numbers. Okay. So 793,479 would also round to 800,000. Okay, so now let's take a look at a few word problems here. Okay, now each of these are going to be related, so we're going to be using information from each as we go through. So for letter A, we have the 2012 Super Bowl had an attendance of just 68,658 people. If the headline in the newspaper the next day read, "About 70,000 people attend the Super Bowl," how did the newspaper round to estimate the total number of people in attendance? If you notice our directions up at the top, we need to solve using pictures, numbers, or words. Okay. So if we think about our number line here, okay, because of all these zeros, we can tell that we're rounding to the nearest 10,000. Okay. So we have 6 10,000s. Okay. One more is 70,000. So our number line would look like this. Okay. 8 in the thousands place tells us that we're up here on our number line. Okay. So we can see that the newspaper rounded up to the nearest 10,000. Okay, so the newspaper rounded to the nearest 10,000. Okay. Now for letter B, the 2011 Super Bowl had an attendance of 103,219. If the headline in the newspaper the next day read, "About 200,000 people attend the Super Bowl," is the newspaper's estimate reasonable? Use rounding to explain our answer. So we can see with this one we're moving over to 100,000s. So the actual attendance had 100,000, and the newspaper is rounding it to 200,000. Okay, so we have to think about where the actual attendance would be on our number line. So then 150,000 would be in the middle. So we have 0 in the 10,000s place, so that means our actual attendance is down here. So now plotting this on our number line, we can see that the newspaper is not at all reasonable. Okay, they went way too high. 103,219 would actually round to 100,000. So the newspaper's estimate was not reasonable. Okay, because 103,219 rounds to 100,000, not 200,000. Okay, now according to the problems above, about how many more people attended the Super Bowl in 2011 than in 2012? And we see how many more we know means to subtract. We see about, which means we need an estimate. Okay, so for letters A and B we rounded. Now it's time to do a subtraction with our rounded numbers to create an estimate. Round each number to the largest place value before giving the estimated answer. So for letter B, we rounded 103,219 to the largest place, which in this case was the 100,000s place. Okay. For letter A, we had 68,658. Now the largest place in that number is the 10,000s place, and we rounded that to 70,000. Okay, so now how many more means to subtract? So when we go to subtract these numbers, okay, we could see that we have a difference of 30,000. So about 30,000 more people attended the Super Bowl in 2011 than in 2012.